Today I am pleased to introduce the writings of Miranda Warren. She has been a huge inspiration for me, and I couldn't be more excited to feature some of her writings. All of her links will be in the description below. What follows is a short bio by Miranda. My past seems like the remembrance of a character in a novel, or the lingering emotions of a vaguely remembered dream upon waking. In the story of my life, I have been a dancer and a choreographer, and now am a caretaker of a property in a remote European woodland that is sometimes the setting for small retreats. I was born in the United States and have lived the last several years in Europe. In this time story, in 2011, at the age of 21, a dramatic shift in my awareness seemed to occur. The world of separate people and things, including me, appeared to meld into a seamless whole, with all the definitions and meanings of thoughts and beliefs falling away. I assumed it was a serious mental illness, as it was shattering at first, but that soon gave way to a feeling of sublime peace and awe and wonderment. I still imagined if there was an explanation, it was that I had gone insane. But life felt so profoundly vivid and beautiful, even as it was no longer personal, that I was fine with being a mad woman. That feeling of awe and wonder and peace remains unchanged over a decade later. I wrote a friend about this shortly after it happened, and he sent me videos from people who talked about something called non-duality. I had never heard the word, but it seemed to resonate deeply with what I was perceiving and feeling. Several years later, I began to write about my experiences and perceptions. If you could feel it. If you could feel it, you would not believe you could ever know it. If you could feel it, you would know it is spoken as truly as it ever can be told, in the echoing note of a guitar floating into the wind. If you could feel it, you would see it in the flower, folding in onto itself in the photograph taken by a little girl and painted by a trick of the light inside the theater of your mind. If you could feel it, you would not know what consciousness or the brain or love or rain was, and you would not even know that you do not even know. If you could feel it, everything would stop, and you would see that it had never even begun, that there wasn't ever anything at all. Yet nothing is also everything. If you could feel it, the warmth and cold, and light and dark, and the fire glimmering in the stone fireplace across the cabin, and the echo of the owl, and the call of the wildcat, and the luminous darkness would not be outside you or inside you. And inside and outside, and you and not you, would not even be comprehensible. If you could feel it, you would hear your heart beating like a drum pulsing in the molten core of the fiery earth of your wildest imagination, and not care whether it is all your imagination or if you are being imagined, for both would seem the same, and neither would be true. If you could feel it, not a single word would be true, yet nothing could ever be a lie. If you could feel it, none of it would matter, and it would be read in the space between the words, not in the silence, but from where silence arises, nowhere at all. Not two doesn't mean one. It doesn't even mean two. Non-duality is a concept a few people may find, but likely there are some unknown dreamlings who simply lose the veil of separation one day, without even meeting the small group of humans engaging in discussions about what can never be understood. They simply live, feel, breathe as what they truly are and are not, and don't even know there is such a thing as Advaita or non-duality, or that some people spend their lives looking for what to them simply is without names or definitions. If you could feel it, it would be no more or no less than a voice in a dream whispering your nameless name, a butterfly cascading down a canyon, disappearing into wings that fly us all away, a song with no words nor music, a dance with no movement, a girl who was never born, but who died when life resurrected her as a shadow, a reflection of love, a ghostly phantom bursting with ineffable emotion, there and not there, washing away with her tears in the cool autumn rain, a leaf fallen from a tree becoming what it always has been, an infinite, infinitesimal, invisible speck in the ground of being that is no ground at all. Always only ever this, love, and not even that. The song of life. They send me words, and little pictures of themselves light up the screen and reflect off my face in the darkness of the wee hours. Outside, the sounds of the forest hum a lullaby. The seekers that came here the past few years called this silence. How funny that seems, for I hear a symphony, life singing in so many voices, a choir of love carried in the wind. They want to know what they can do about something or other, or they want to know how to escape the pain of something or other. They wonder if I have an opinion on what they say is going on. If they are not specific, I have to ask them what they think is going on. For I am aware of no thing that is going on, just the wind and the music of the dream of life that is playing a love song in my brain's theater of everything and nothing at all. And yet it is not a song that you have to go to some retreat in the woods to hear. The notes may vary, but I have heard this song everywhere it seems I have been. It sings in the heart of London, the high remote highlands of Scotland, the cities in flames, and the rooms where people take their final breath. It sings in the gunshot in an alleyway in Chicago, the labored breath of lovers after orgasm, and the cries of grief of the newly widowed. It echoes in the poignant wail of a baby's first cry, and in the quiet despair of people sitting alone in their rooms, never knowing they are not alone. It soars like an orchestra in the billions of songs of insects and birds and wildlife in the wilderness and the urban inn cave. It is the song of life and love that is weaving a dream undreamt. And what is going on is not anything or event that appears to be happening in a separate place and time. For there is no place and there is no time. Nothing is happening to you and nothing is happening to me. And yet I am you, and you are me. And even that is impossible, and true and untrue as your beating heart. Your heart, which I hear right now, drumming a song of beauty so miraculous, you would fall to the ground in tears if only you could hear the luminous music that you are and aren't at all. A fable of this and that. Everything perceived and thought to be known is an illusion constructed by the mind. A fairy tale world of beings and things that are not beings and things at all. The quantum physicists and neuroscientists and the non-duality speakers all tell me this. Yet they are also illusions. They speak and my mind dances with them. And then they vanish into thin air, their enigmatic smiles lingering a moment like the Cheshire Cat. And I run to the mirror. And what do I see? An imagined Miranda, invented by no one. A fictional character who, one day in an imagined past, saw that everything seemed to be a dream I could not remember from moment to moment. It felt as if some strange, surreal world was being invented each instant. But I could not find the flow of time. It was beyond disorienting. for I couldn't even locate the center of it all. And yet these made-up people and a make-believe world appeared. I was one of the fairy tale characters, and it was always clear it was not my dream. And maybe that world stopped spinning. Or really, it was like getting on a moving carousel and finding your seat on the merry-go-round horse, and the lights and the colors and names of people, places and things. The noun known world was so clearly a fantasy. I couldn't even say it came from my brain, or have any idea from what, or how, or why. Yet, all these appearances, even now a panorama of seamless perception, containing the illusion of separation, seem to happen. And somehow it seems as if there is wine, and a glass, and a hand reaching out and then drinking. And yet there is nothing at all. Only an unfathomable, ineffable, inexplainable fairy tale fantasy, love story that is not even that, or this, or anything imagined or unimagined at all. Fairy folk and sea monsters. At the edge of the universe, love found a song, and light moved slower than its speed, so it could stop and see the beauty of the space between stars. Too many questions tug at the heart that might not even be hers. Of course, nothing is hers, not even her. And the character is torn between giving them a beautiful answer that is a lie, or an answer empty of hope that is no less a lie. In the morning, I will walk into the lake to meet the sea monster, disappearing forever beneath the surface. But no, that was a nightmare dream, vivid as it seemed. I disappeared long ago, and in the cabin the girl sits pale in the chair across from me and asks, after I close my eyes, remembering the dream of the sea monster, "Where were you just now?" A question impossible to answer. So I said something like, "I was just spacing out." And where that odd expression came from is unknown. I used to have a world, but it was like the glass globe that fell off the desk of Miss Winters in 2nd grade or 3rd grade. Which was it? And broke, shattering into a million pieces. Some of the kids laughed. Miss Winters cried. Her world was broken, and it would never be put back together. Her students would never see what she saw, never feel what she felt, never understand what she tried to say to them, never love her the way she loved them. And she could have no children of her own, but did not know. Though maybe she did. And she could never have children of her own, even if she gave birth 1,000,000 times. The girl in the chair understands, she says, that there is no doer, and nothing matters. But for many, non-duality becomes an idea, another belief system with its catechism, like the long-ago church I went to as a child. Seekers sit in the pews at Our Lady of Perpetual Nothing, and rarely do the words resonate with what I think I feel. But my feelings are only thoughts. Maybe I am unfeeling, as some of them have said. Whoever they are. The ones waiting on the other side of the mountain. In their cities. On their screens. In their imaginary lives. Doing. Always doing. And suffering, so they say, and trying so hard to make everything better without knowing what that would mean. They send emails with questions. Do you want me to make the world a better place? What happened to you? Are you happy? Are you ever coming back? What kind of life is that? Do you care about me at all? And seekers send questions. Why can't I find what you found? How can I be one with life? Is love real? Why do you post things if you say it doesn't matter? Do you care about me at all? No answers arise for anyone. Just the sound of rain on the cabin roof. In the forest there are eyes that look back at you. Birds, squirrels, the elusive wildcat. Who knows, really? Maybe just my own reflection, glistening in the echoes of my candy apple brain. At the edge of the forest, there are fairy circles, and the girl who was on the chair, who knew she is not the doer, tells stories about the different fairies, the fairy folk of local lore. The fairies are not cute or sweet at all. I am not cute or sweet at all. Life has dreamt me, and even that is a fairy tale. As if there is someone here, and a story about her, when there is only the sea monster in its unfathomable depths, weeping beautiful tears that fill the edgeless lake with love and nothing at all. The link to Miranda's book will be in the description below. Reading this brought me to tears. Thank you, Miranda.